Greetings, Bitcoiners in the land of YouTube. The little pump is kind of stalled out here. First, I wanted to start out by showing you the overall image. Talk about that here in a second. Let's get rid of that dude. Okay, so there's that channel that I'd been operated out of right there. I had drawn in a secondary channel from about like third week of June into third week of July this month here. See how it's in the top of that channel. I had a smaller channel in there. It's basically the top half of this bigger channel. Bitcoin broke out the top. That's old news. Let me get to show you what I was doing here. I was messing around with trend lines. And let's get rid of this guy too. So there's that old channel. So I was looking for things that might repeat. I'm under the impression this is likely to be a dead cat bounce of some sorts. I mean, not that, but this pump, I believe, is probably going to be a dead cat bounce. I could be wrong. Don't take my word for being perfect. Dead cat bounce, even if it were to come up, say 58, 59,000, bump its head on 60, it's still liable to be a dead cat bounce. I need to draw my lines more crooked. There are no straight lines. I'm under the impression it's dead cat bounce. Maybe we can bounce out of this. Maybe it's really not a dead cat bounce. But even if it's not a dead cat bounce, there's still a major correction coming. That's just how this market is. They could bump up to 51,000 and dump down to 32,000 and then go up to all-time new high, or make I just think this market was wanting to come down. I think the market was just out of natural flow. I think it was wanting to come down. I think this is an artificial pump. If you watch my videos, you already know that. So let's get to what I'm talking about here before I start blabbering. Let's move this guy. Sometimes my lines move. I've made videos where my lines have moved. I didn't catch it. So right about there. This is the daily chart, daily candles. This channel is roughly the top of the candle bodies on a lot of them. And the bottom of the candle bodies, you could draw it different using the wicks. You could put them on the wicks. See that? It's matching up pretty good in that general vicinity, right? Put them on the wicks, kind of like so. Anyways, let's get rid of that. Stop going off on tangents, dude. It's hard talking to a wide audience. There could be people here. This is their very first day in Bitcoin. There could be people here that's watching that's been in for 10 years. So it's difficult trying to talk to everyone. So anyways, okay. So looking for things that might repeat, that look similar. Perhaps the term studying fractals. As you know, I was operating off this channel, so I know it well. And there was this one time where it pumped way up out of the channel and came back down. And this is kind of what this is reminding me of, because there was a trend line here that you may have seen around YouTube. I showed it on my channel here using these three data points. Here. Clearly bounced off of that. Fell down about $5,500. That was a little correction. It wasn't one of these big giant corrections. I was thinking it might come down further, bounce off to the top of this channel maybe. But that's basically the quickest, after a huge pump, the quickest and shortest little correction that led to a pump that goes higher than the previous high, local high. I was looking at this today, and this just struck me odd. I didn't have this channel down here low, but looking at, get rid of some of this clutter here, free up your mind. I was looking, and this caught my attention. We've come down from like, what was it, 48.6, give or take 48,500. And we're down here. We went all the way down to 45.4, and we're currently at 46.3. But this kind of struck me. It struck me in my memory banks, in my mind, not my computer, in the circle here. It struck me. It reminded me of this right here. It reminded me of that. So I started looking into it. zoom in on this old channel here. And I remember this flow well. I know this very, very well because I'd been studying it. It came up, tested the top of this channel here. This is where the channel started forming. There was actually, after that big crash, there was actually a big bounce here the next day, and then it dropped the next day. I'm not really counting that. I mean, that is data that's useful, but technically that's kind of in the channel. But just starting here, May 26th, May 27th, rejected. This is where our trend line started forming. June 3rd, June 4th, rejected, falls all the way back down to the bottom of the channel. Comes back up here, June 10th, rejected, falls down, but this time it's quick, it's shorter than the other two. See, there two went all the way down and obeyed the channel bottom there. Actually went below it, wicked below it, and came back up. This one basically faded out right in the middle of the channel, and then quickly pumped up, way up out of the channel here, which is kind of an anomaly in that study in that little area, or not an anomaly, an outlier, if you will. Immediately fell back down to the bottom of the channel. See, it obeyed it just like the previous. We go back up and back down to the bottom and then back up. And this is where we're in the top half of the channel for about 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. June 27th. I broke out July 23rd. But this little fractal through here is what struck my fancy. Right here. I had drawn in a trend line about 2 weeks ago here when this guy happened. I really didn't think we'd bust out the top. Well, actually, you know what? I did. I gave a couple different ideas there. I actually said in a video, if this was kind of a bull descending channel here, using the top of the old channel and this trend line down through here, not descending, a descending wedge, which is real bullish. And I was saying, hopefully we could satisfy the bears and the bulls with this. That's what I was hoping. But I was saying the worst thing, in my opinion, was that if we were to break out here in the next day or two, we broke out there, right? I think this is a lot of leverage trading, a lot of bait for retail to get hyped up and stick your money in just to lose it over the next week or two. It's kind of been the pattern since basically January 1st, 2021. Pump, dump, 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 pump, dump. That's hard to argue with. So I am a Bitcoin bull. I don't want to scare people away from my channel. I think Bitcoin has a really bright future, but I think it's a mistake to ignore the now, present. So I clearly remembered 1, 2, 3 tests at the top with a drop back down with a quick bounce way up out that came back down. So let's see if we can jog our mental banks. Let's extend this trend line up here for easy viewing. 1 test, 2 tests. Could draw a channel here. I don't like this channel much, but for your mind's eye, let's draw it in here. Let's just draw it in here so you can see it. But there is a little data pointage. Extend it up for your brain to be able to see a little better. These lines aren't perfect, just kind of throwing them in here. There is definitely some bounces off of it. Okay, so 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, quick drop, quick rebound, quick bounce. So way up out of this channel, the old channel, the little channel here, right? All the way back down to the bottom of it. Come back up to the top of it for about a month. So this just struck me. It's hard for me to ignore this. Comes back up 3 times off this yellow trend line here. What do we have here? A drop with a super quick rebound that pumps way up out of the channel. Our 4th circle here. 1, 2. That's not a very good 3. 3, 4, 1, 2. Hey, look at it. 3, 4. For me, that's pretty hard to ignore. When this bounced here yesterday, well, I guess today's actually these last 2 red candles is where my my radar, my warning went off. Go back here to circle 4 in the old channel, and then dumped back down into the channel. I'm not saying this is even a valid pattern, but it's, for me personally, it's hard to ignore. Let's see, this daily candle here will close in about, from the time I make this video, probably 3 hours from the time I publish. You'll be watching it about the time the new daily candles open. This is Sunday evening, 3 p.m. Central Time. I'm making a video. Too good of a pattern repeating. I mean, look at that. It's hard. It's hard to ignore, right? You gotta, whether I'm right or wrong, it's hard to ignore. Maybe we bounce off the top of the channel and it's not a dead cat bounce, and we go way up here, you know, or maybe this market wanted to come down to the 20,000s and stay there for a while, 17,000, and let the big players get in and hodl for decades, which is probably what we really want. I think this pump is leverage juice. Look how similar it is. So if this were to keep playing out down here somewhere towards the middle, you know, interesting enough, the top of the original channel, the small one in there, is pretty close to this midway point of the new channel. I don't really like the new channel. I like the new trend line. Maybe this comes down here eventually and bounces directly off this bigger channel and comes up here and does something like this. Maybe this channel just hasn't formed yet, right? So that could happen, but let's not get our speculation shoes on too quick here. That would put us at about 29,000, which is right in line with the last 2 lows. 3 lows if you want to count May 19th, May 23rd area. 1, 2, 3. We've been down there 3 times. That'd be the 4th time we come down there. So that would be testing that support again. And the more we test that support at about 29,000, the more likely it finally does punch through. I don't want to. I know people want this to go to the moon, but you got to watch the other side of the argument, the other side of the analysis. This looks like a market that wants to come down here. So watch out, folks. This could be a dead cat bounce. I'm not saying I'm right, but okay, so I'll start blabbering there to get in there. Let's get rid of this. If it followed this to a T for the next 2 months, or even the next month, okay, it comes down to about the middle of the channel. Few days of support there, and then it busts down to the, so it looks something like if it followed up the same, it would look something like to kind of go here for a couple of days, and then dive down, and then another candle opens up, wicks down here, pops back up, big green candle, come back down here, something like this, and kind of do this for a while, and then pop up here for about a month. If it were to follow for a T, say this is a month here, say that's 30 days of this messing around in the top part of this new channel. If this is a new channel that's formed, about 30 days of that jibber jabber, and then a big old juicy breakout, something like this. That would put us 2 months from today, give or take. What would that be? October, middle of October, a big juicy, super bullish breakout. Maybe we came down here for long enough. Maybe this is perfect. We came down here at 15,000. We were in the 20,000s for 30 days, going down in this big bullish consolidating pattern, falling wedge. Shoot, you know what? Look at that. That matches up. Look at it. Yeah, I just keep going and going and going. All kinds of neat things to look at. Let's extend the top of this channel here. So you can see that falling wedge. These lines are not perfect. You see what I'm talking about though, right? That was that falling wedge. It's a super juicy bull pattern that satisfies the bears and the bulls. In my opinion, this is what you would want to see for the next parabolic Jimmy Jam session, right? That look at that. I wasn't even looking at that descending channel, descending wedge. See this triangle here? This channel line on the top of my original little channel in there. They come down here to a point. Look at that. I wasn't even looking at that when I just drew that pattern. And look at that. That's about the time. I might have went a little too far here. That's about the time. Good juicy time. Looking at these patterns. Maybe right in here. This is a good juicy target. If this were to play out, that matches up with where a nice juicy breakout of a descending wedge. I've been saying descending channel. It is kind of a descending channel, but the descending wedge pattern, I think, would be ultra bullish. So it could set us up for a parabolic push that no one sees coming to start 2022. It's just too much speculation out here, man. I don't even want to go that far. I think this was enough. Middle of October. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think of my little, forget everything to the right of this vertical line, my dotted line here. Forget everything past the end of August I'm speculating about. Let me know what you think about the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fall down to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, fall to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, fall to the floor. Let me know what you think about that. But anyways, something to think about. This is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. It's fun to watch and learn. Just the fact that people are interested in money markets, I think overall is good. Even if you lose a little money starting out and gain experience, I think it's good overall. I think that's the wealth gap, right? Small people haven't really been exposed to money markets, while the wealthy are, and that's why there's such a big gap today and getting bigger and bigger every single day. But anyways, that's enough jibber jabber. As always, thanks for watching.